Hi, welcome everybody. I'm Bruce, the Gig Farmer, back for Banjo Lesson number 2. In lesson number 1, we learned the forward roll, as you might recall, or at least one version of it. If you don't know that roll, you can go back to lesson number 1 and go through that and then come to this lesson and you'll be prepared. Because in this lesson, we're moving forward. We're going on to some left-hand technique which will result in some simple chords that will enable us to play the song Bile Them Cabbage Down. It's a bluegrass classic. You can't say bile them cabbage down. You have to say bile them cabbage down. All right, a little bit of a twang there because that's the way Earl did it. Let's get going. Wait, we need to tune first. 5th string, G. 4th string, D. 3rd string, G. 2nd string, B. 1st string, D. Rather than tune with me, go grab your snark or your phone tuner, tune yourself up, and then come on back and we'll get going. So the song is Bile Them Cabbage, but what we need to do is we need to learn a simple way to play a D chord and a C chord. Now when I'm playing, things get busy and loud, and sometimes C will sound like B will sound like D. So I have a method whereby I shout out the chord, but I'll say C cat, D dog, G gorilla. So when all the noise is going on, if you hear me yell out gorilla, or cat, or dog, just think of the first letter and you'll figure out what chord I'm talking about. It works. Now, as I've said in my other videos in guitar and mandolin, if you don't know how to fret an instrument, it's important to learn now that you put your thumb behind the neck and place your finger on the string, but right next to the fret. Okay? Fret is an odd word because it is a noun. This is the fret. The metal pieces that go up and down the neck, those are frets. How do you push down on them? What do you call that? Well, you call that fretting. So it gets confusing sometimes, but you're going to fret the string right behind the fret like that, and you're going to push down just hard enough to where you get the note to sound out. If you're getting this, it means that you're not pushing down hard enough, or if you place your finger rather too far back, you might get a little bit of a muted sound or a buzz even when you're pushing down hard. So you have to remember to push it right down behind the fret. You're getting a mechanical advantage there and you're pushing down real close to where the metal is so you get a clean note. All right, practice that a little bit. Remember to anchor your 2 fingers, your pinky and your ring, right next to the bridge here somewhere. And we'll get started with working on the C chord. So to play the C chord, we're going to put your ring finger, 3rd finger, on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And then we're going to play the forward roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you could probably hear a different tone than what we heard when you were playing it open. You hear the difference there. Okay, so practice that for a few minutes, then come back and we're going to learn the D chord. The D chord is played by putting your middle finger of your left hand on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. You see that? It's going to sound like this. And when you place it in the context of a roll, it sounds like this. Okay? The song is going to be played by starting with the G chord and playing one measure through. Remember, a measure, as we stated before in previous videos, is 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try them both together. G to C. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you get it? If not, practice it a few more times, come back. Now that you're back and you've practiced your C chord, let's work on going from the G to the D chord. Okay, and again, these are simple chords. There are other chords available to you. But these work really well for this roll pattern that I taught you in the first video, the thumb, index, middle, thumb, rest, because you're using the correct strings that make it easier to make the chords up here. And it sounds good. It sounds like banjo picking. Here's the D chord again. Middle finger on the second fret of the third string, the middle string, and you're going to be plucking that with your index finger over here. Okay? We're going to go G to D. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, good. Now, if you're still having trouble with that, go ahead and stop the video, practice it a little bit, going back and forth. G, C, G, D, C, D even. That'll come in later songs. Let's try the first part of the song. We're going to go from G to C, from G to D without stopping. And it's going to be one measure of each. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, change chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, change chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, change chord, etc. For the first part of the song, the very last measure or the second to last measure will get a little different. Here we go with G, C, G, D. In time. 1, 2, 3, 4, G, C, G, gorilla, D dog. Let's keep going. G, C, G, D, G. I surprised you there. I played through the whole song. Now, if you've been practicing this and it wasn't too difficult, then you probably said, yeah, I got through that okay. But you may have noticed something at the end that was a little tricky. At the very end, I said G, then D, before we had finished the measure. That's because there's what's called a turnaround, where you quickly go to a chord before resolving or going back to your home base of G. And that chord that you go to in the turnaround in this key is the D. Now we've practiced the D chord, but we haven't practiced it as a turnaround chord. In other words, doing the G for part of the roll, the first 4 notes, but then you have to put down your middle finger on the second fret of the third string to finish that roll of that measure. And then back to the G. Let's try practicing that G to D in one measure. Here it is. So let me slow it down. I'm going thumb, index, middle, thumb, indexed with the finger down on the second fret, middle, thumb. Let's finish off with a little faster version of it, and I'll be singing it for you. Here we go. And again, this is just for if you're advancing on into kind of intermediate territory and you can play these rolls pretty smoothly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boil them cabbage down The only song that I can sing is Biled and Cabbage down. Now, in the future, I'm going to have some backup videos with the full band playing behind this so that you can jam along with it at different speeds. But for right now, try to play with that song at that speed for a while. See if you can get it, not perfect, but good enough to where you start and end at the same time as me and it kind of sounds like the song. That's good enough for now. I'm Bruce, the Gig Farmer, signing off for now. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment below of what you would like to see coming up for the next Banjo Lesson series. Thanks again. Take care. Be sane. We'll see you next time.